Hello everyone, welcome to Clashing Coder. So in this video we will see the question number 198, that is house robber problem. So it is a most popular question, one of the most popular question on the LeetCode, and it has been asked in various interviews for Amazon, Facebook, Google, etc. So let's see the problem statement. Actually it is a easy level question, so it won't be that difficult to understand. So it has various iterations also, that is how house robber 1, after that 2 and 3. So let's see this problem statement. So you are a professional robber, so planning to rob the houses along a street. Each house has a certain amount of money stashed. The only constraint stopping you from robbing each of them is the adjacent houses have a security system connected, and it automatically contacts the police if two adjacent houses were broken into the same night. So I will explain you what the statement means. So actually it is shown that we have a robber. Okay, we have a robber and these are the houses, and they have the some amount of money, or the money that the robber can rob. So for you would think that we have, so actually we have to maximize the amount of money that the robber can rob. So let's see it also this. So given a list of non-negative integers representing the amount of the money of each house, so determine the maximum amount of money you can rob without alerting the police. So actually they have given you would think that we can rob all the houses and we will get the most of the profit, but that is not the thing, because it is stated that all the houses are connected. So and it will automatically contact the police if two adjacent houses were broken. So adjacent houses will be like 1, 2. So 2 is adjacent to 3, 3 is adjacent to 1. So they all are connected. So if you cannot loot the two consecutive indexes. You can see if you loot 1 and 2, so it will trigger the alarm. But if you can loot like this 1 and 3 and 2 and 1, like this you have to loot. So let's see how we can solve this problem. So actually also I will also show you you can see that constraints will be like from 0 to 100. So and for the elements it will be from 0 to 400. So it is not a large constraint. So let's see. So in this example, this is a second example given over here, you can see. So let's see. So as it is told that we have to rob the houses to maximize the profit, but we cannot rob the adjacent houses. So that means if for maximizing the profit, you can see how we will get the maximum profit. If we rob this 2, so we get a profit of 2. If we rob this, we cannot rob 7 now. If we rob 9, so we will get plus 9. Okay, plus 9. Then we cannot rob this house 3. Then we rob 1, so we will get 1. So the output will be 12. So yes, you can see the output is 12. So it is a maximum profit. But if we try to rob the other houses, so let's see. So if we try to rob, if we don't rob this house, that means we can rob this. So it will be 7. Then we cannot rob this 9 because it is adjacent to 7. So to stay away from the alarm or the alerting the police, so we cannot drop the adjacent houses. So now we can include 3. So it will be 3. So it will become total of 10. Now we cannot loot the 1, so it will be total of 10, so which is less than this 12. So that means the maximum profit that we can get from these number of houses and the amount in them, or the profit, we will be only able to make 12. So that 12 will be our output. So this is how the example goes. So let's see the basic approach or the naive approach that you can think for the solution. So actually if you think at every point, so we have to actually maximize the profit. So for doing that, the naive approach will be checking all the possible values and adding them to result and seeing whether it contributes to result or makes the result maximum, or it changes the result. So that means you have to check all the possible combinations of this array. So that will be a recursive solution, because we are doing it in a brute force way. So at every point we will have to make a choice. So in recursion we have to make a choice. So in this given if we are given this example, so how we can make a choice? Actually if you see at every index we have two choices. If you see, we can include the item, okay, or we cannot include the item. So they are the two choices, because at every point you have to decide whether you include it, because if you include it then you cannot include this. So it may be the second element was of greater profit than the first element, but we included the first, so we cannot include the second element. So we will have to also check for if we don't include this element and we include this element. So at every point we will have to check for this index if we are starting from this. So if we are starting from this 2, either we include it, so here we include it, if at this point we don't include it. If we include this 2, so we cannot include 7, so we will have to call the function recursively for this part, excluding this 7, because we cannot rob the adjacent houses. So if we include 2, so profit will be 2 plus the function that we have made. So let me write it, actually the mouse won't help here. So the 2 plus the houses that we can rob. So for example, f is a function. So now in our function we are giving the amount, we are passing the array, or we have, you can say we have made the array as global. So now we as this is I is at this index. So at this index we have made two choices, either we rob it or we don't rob it. So if we rob it, so our profit will be 2 plus excluding this, and we will calculate for this array or the sub array. So for that it will become f, and our I will become plus 2, because I plus 1 will be at this index, I is at this 2, so I plus 1 will be 7. So we will have to check for I plus 2, starting from I plus 2 till n, then we will find for it. And the other choice will be if we don't include this 2, if we exclude this 2, that is we don't include it. So actually this is the profit, you can see if we include it, it will be 2 plus the profit for the sub array after 7, excluding 7 or the index after 2. So let's see. So if we don't include this 2, then we will be having choice as I plus 1, because we have not included it, so we won't add it. So we will start from this point, so it will be this, we will pass the index as I plus 1, because now we have to start from this index. We have not included 2, so we won't add it, and we will, here it was actually I plus 2, sorry for that, I plus 2. As I told you, I plus 1 will be 7, but if we include 2, so we cannot include 7, so we have to include 9. So if I is at this index, so it will be I plus 2 index that we will be checking for. But if we don't include 2, so that means we will be checking for I plus 1, then again it will be calling recursively for the other part excluding the 9. So it will check for I plus again 2, so I will plus 2 will be coming at this point, 7 and 3. So this is how we are going to use it, call it recursively and calculate the profit. But it will end up checking all the possible combinations which we don't require also if we exclude it. So that will take a lot of time. As you know, recursive is a brute force solution, so it will take a lot of time, but it will be easier to think. So you can easily memorize it. You can use memorization for that, or you can like decide it accordingly, but we will use dynamic programming for that. I will show you how we can use that, but here I will show you why we are not using this recursion, because this you would have listened from many other people, so I will just explain shortly. So you can see if we have this subtree, okay, we have this subtree. Like for this example, we will be forming a subtree. It will be like f, so f minus 1, here it will minus 1, f minus 2, so it will be f minus 3, and all the combinations. So actually let's see. So if you see, if we have made this, okay, so when we have for example, this value is 1 and this value is also 1, f minus 1, if we are thinking f minus 1 and f minus 1, and for recursion it goes till the most depth it can go. So it will check for the whole subtree for this part, and it has calculated the value for this part. But when it comes here, again it is the 1 value, so again it will calculate this value again. So that means the value that we calculated over here, we calculated it again over here. So that means we are wasting a lot of time. So we can simply memorize it, or we can store it in a DP or some array and use the solution when we come at this point. So we at this point we will be having the solution for this one, so we can simply return that or use that. So that will be a basic approach that you can do to optimize this recursion, and that's why we are not using recursion, because it will take a lot of time calculating all the possibilities. So let's see how we can like optimize this. Actually I will show you the approach that we are going to use. So in this array that we are given, it is also a lead code problem. You can see this example 1 2 3 and this 1 2 3 and 1. So let's see, as I told you, at every point we have a choice whether we include it or we don't include it. But now let's see how we can do this. So in this point, if you see, the first index will have value as 1 only, because at this point we include 1. Okay, so we don't have any choice, so we can include 1 because we are not checking for the 2. So let's see now. So if we include this 1, what can be profit at this point? At this point, what can be the profit? If we include this 1, or either we include this element and exclude 1. So you can see, if we include this one, we have two choices. Either we include this one, or either we don't include the 1 and include the 2, because they are adjacent, so both cannot be included simultaneously. So now at this point we will be checking the maximum of both. In this also, when we were calculating, either we include this 2, okay, we include this 2, or we don't include this 2, then we will be checking for the max, out of which we will getting max value. So we will be using a function of max. We will return the max value out of both, because we have to check the maximum probability. We have to don't check for the all, like we have to return the maximum value what we can get. So that was I forgot to tell you that. So now at this point we will be getting we will be checking the max of both. So max out of 1 and 2 will be 2. So it would be better if we include 2 rather than 1. So at this point we will update the index at this value 2. At this point when we reach at this index, that is 3. So now at this index we will have to actually at this index now we have to check whether we include this 3 or we include this 2. So how can it be? Because we cannot rob the adjacent houses, so we can as we are at this index 3, so I is at this index. If you for example if you take, so at this index we will check I plus I minus 2, because this will be I minus 1, this will be I minus 2, because we cannot loot I minus 1 as well as I or I plus 1, because they are adjacent, all are adjacent. So now here we have two choices: either we include this 3 or we don't include it and update it as 2 only. So we will have to check the maximum value out of the current value that we are getting, current of I. So I is 3, you can see current value is 3, or either in this DP array or the resultant array we will check if the current index minus 1 is max, okay, or I forgot to write also here. So when we include this, okay, we include this, that means we have a I minus 2 also, we will include it I plus 1. So actually here it will be dp of, you can see dp of I minus 2 if we include it. Now here we have to, you can see we have two choices. This will be 1, sorry for that. So now you can see we have two choices: either we include this 3. So in this choice we have included the 3 and added to the profit of the previous to previous element or before the the element before the 3. So you can see that is 1 plus 3, so 1 plus 3 will be 4, and at the previous index will be 2. Either we do update this or we use this. So out of both we will use the max value. So max value will be 4. The max profit that we will be getting is 4. So this will be our formula that we'll be using for such, or for developing this array or making or filling this array. At the end we will be getting the max profit that we can get at this index. In this array, if you see, now we have the value 4. Now we will check 1 plus 2, because we cannot include 4 and 1 together. Now we will check 1 plus 2. 1 plus 2 will be 3. But now our previous value is greater than the current value plus the this profit that we were getting. So now it will be 4. So our output will be also 4. You can see output is 4. So this is what the basic approach will be. Our approach will be, let's see the algorithm. So actually in this example, so this is a similar example to the one we saw in the naive approach. So here you can see I have written the pseudocode also. So we have to first of all initialize the DP array of size n. The n will be our number of elements in the array, and at we have to initialize some base cases. So first our all the array will be values will be 0. Okay, first our result array, or the, you can say DP array, the values will be 0. Actually it will be DP array, so I will name it as it is DP. So let's see. So at first I told you we include this, we add this, because we don't have any choice, so we don't have any maximum value, so we will include this. So base case will be 2. So this will be actually the base condition that we are initializing for our DP array. At the first index, this is our 0th index, and this will be our first index. As you know, we are checking for I minus 2. I minus 2. If we start from the first index, so I minus 2 will be out of bound, it will be less than 0. So that's why we have to initialize this value also. So you can simply guess the value for this first index. In first index the value will be maximum of the first value and the this 0th value, element at 0th index and the element at first index, you can see. So it will max of 2 and 7. So what will be it? So it will be 7. So these are two conditions are initializing our DP array. So at first elements value will be 0. So in this elements value will be 0, then we will initialize our 0th index and the first index. So the 0th element does not have any choice, so it will be 2. Okay, the starting value that we are having in the array, and the first index will be having the value as maximum of 0 index and the first index, because we cannot include the both, so we will include the maximum out of both. So that will be 7. We include 7. Now we have to run a for loop, and for every index we will check if we include this index plus the previous to previous value that we were getting 2 plus 9. We will check if 2 plus 9 is greater than the, this value. Either we include this 2 plus 9 both, okay, 2 plus 9 that is 11, or we include 7. So but we will include the maximum of both. You can see maximum of both. So this is our basic approach. So let's see. So here you see we are at this index. I will be starting from 2. So now in this we will be updating this value. As you can see, dp of I minus 1, I minus 1 will be 7, so it will be 7 comma max. We are checking for the max, so dp of I minus 2, it will be 2 plus, if we like take that value, that means we are including the current value, it will be 9. So 2 plus 9 will be 11, as I told you. So we will include the value will become 11 here. So this is how we are updating our array. So now at this index I will come at this index. So let's erase this. So now you can see our I will be at this index, and at this index, sorry, so at this index our choice will be either we include this 3 and this 7. Sorry, I'm drawing with mouse. So either we include, so we are having two choices, as I told you, either we include this 3 and 7 or we include this 11. So out of both, what should be the maximum, or which will be the maximum? 7 plus 3 will be 10, and again the 11 will be maximum out of both. So that means we have to exclude this 3 and 7. So we will have to include this value 2, 9 and let's see, so 2 and 9, the value will be maximum will be 11. So now when we come at this index, so our I will be at this index, now that will be at last index, 4 and 4th index. So at this point again we'll check if our previous value is greater than the current value plus this profit that we were getting. So now at this point our profit will be 12. So you can see our profit will be 12 because it will be, you can see dp of I minus 1, which is 11. Okay, 11, and the maximum we will be checking the maximum. So dp of I minus 2, that will be again 11 plus the current value, that is 1. So out of both 12 will be maximum, so we'll be filling here 12. So in this approach it will almost take O of n time, because we are traversing the array one time only, and again it will take O of n space also, because we have to maintain a DP array. But it is better than the recursive solution that we were using, because it will be checking all the possible combinations. But here you can see it became almost very easy problem. So with using this formula, as I hope you got to know how we have derived this formula from this naive approach. Actually in this formula it excludes that this element, this is a choice if we do exclude the element, and this is a choice if we include this element. So these are the two choices. So let's see the code in C++. So I hope you understood the example, and do like this video if you like understand how I'm like approaching this problem. So let's see the code. So actually code will be almost similar to the pseudocode that we saw. First of all, we will have to check the base conditions. So you can simply return for the base conditions. So at first the base condition, so in this example, in this code, so you can see the base condition that we are using is if a value we are getting is n is equal to 1. And in this point also, at the first when we were initializing D, so if assuming the n is equal to 1, so we are initializing the array for that, because if n is equal to 1, what will be the profit at this element? If we suppose we have only this element, this much array, so the profit will be the 2 only, because we don't include it, that we will getting 0 profit. So either we include it or we don't. So we will include it, because we will be getting the maximum profit if we include it, so it will be 2. So that's why we will be simply returning the first number if n is equal to 1, because we don't have any choice to make. If n is equal to 0, so return 0. But if we have two elements, so that means we have two elements, you can, so here also if we have two elements, then we are checking or returning the max of both. So here also we were initializing, if we have two elements, then we have two options, either we include the first element or we include the second element. So in this we are checking for that condition. If it is 2 and is size of array is 2, then we can simply return the max of both elements, 0 element, 0th index and the first index. So here we are initializing a DP array, or the result array you can say, of size n, and it is initialized with value as 0. But now we will initialize the base conditions. So for dp of 0 is equal to numbers of 0, and dp of 1 is equal to max of the number of 0 and 1. So now here we are running the for loop that was like I told you, it is similar to the loop that we saw here. So it will be checking for the max if we include the element. So this is when we include the element, so we will be checking for the profit of the previous element and this element plus this element, and or either we will be checking for the max of the previous element. If we don't include the current element and the before element, previous to previous element, we don't include them, then we include the previous element only, that is I minus 1. So after that we will be returning simply the dp of n minus 1. So our array is of size n, so we'll be returning simply the n value of n minus 1, because this will be our maximum profit that we can get. As I told you, here the value will be 12, it will be coming out to be 12, so 12 will be our maximum profit, so we can simply return the last index. So let's submit the solution. So actually I tried the many solutions you can see here, but it didn't succeed. So you can see, so it took less memory than like 100% of the solutions, and it was faster than 52.76% of solutions. So I hope you like this video, and like do subscribe this channel and share this video with your friends. Thank you for watching, guys.